I was so wrong about China for many reasons, but this might be the most shocking one. I thought that Beijing was the OG capital. Not even close. The real OG capital and the most historic one was the capital for 13 different dynasties. We know it today by Xi'an, but it was formerly called Chang'an, which means eternal peace. The name itself was poetry. Visiting today, you can see tons of people wearing traditional Chinese clothing, but the difference between now and back then was that back then they would have been draped in silk, because Chang'an was the starting point of the Silk Road. But I want to focus on one period of time today, and that is the Tang Dynasty, China's golden age. Chang'an during that time wasn't just a city. It was the largest city on earth with over 1 million people there. There were towering walls, watchtowers, pagodas touching the sky seemingly, and some of those can still be seen today, including on the wall, you can ride a bike. Here's a fun little fact for you. One of the most common words in Chinese comes from within these walls. There were two markets, the East and the West. The East had domestic goods and the West had international goods. So when you went to this market, you would 买点东西 from both sides, which is where we got the word for stuff. 东西, pretty iconic. Art exploded, poetry flourished, and religion was thriving. But the craziest part, there were over 100,000 people there, like me. That's right, foreigners lived there, and it was more than present-day Beijing and present-day Shanghai. And where you fit in society wasn't dictated by what family you were born into. You could work your way to greatness by passing the civil servant exam. I call it the Chang'an dream. I feel like China was leading the way 1,300 years ago, and since then, not much has changed. Art and history are treasured and preserved. So much so that I even found a museum in an airport. Also at night, as a woman walking around, I felt totally safe. More safe than anywhere I visited in the world. I've had a lot of misconceptions about this country, like I'm sure many of you have had, but as I'm living here, I'm unraveling them one by one. So follow me on here for more about my life in China.